take a look at Arnold's voice. Why do people love his voice? Now that Arnold's big and he has made it, and people's like, oh, look at Arnold, his voice is, it's like, it's so sexy. But when he started out, that's not what people said.
I haven't told you this, right? But one of the first video that I saw you online on Facebook was actually the video about I think it was something about being Asian, and where like how people will call you like Ching Chong or something like that, and how you decided to use Peng Joon as a stage name. I think that was honestly a lot of courage. And when I first saw that video, right, I was really inspired, because like I had the same mindset. Because like in Asia, I mean like in Singapore, I think generally it's just Asians, right? Chinese, we are not like very we're not generally very loud people, right, on social media, and there's always this like we want to protect our privacy, or like when I speak online, people won't listen, especially like people in the Western part of the world, they won't listen to us, right? So I think there was this like confidence issue, and when I started to see people like you, people like Dan Lok, for example, started posting more videos online and stuff like that, and sometimes even speaking with certain accents or using their name, or like for you use your real Chinese name. It kind of inspired me to kind of like just step out of my shell as well. So I think you are doing, you're actually helping a lot of people like me, a lot of Asians in around this part of the world, to really step out and start doing video marketing.
I resonate with that so much, because that's really how I felt. I felt like, and it's just because of who we surround ourselves with. For me, it was a close friend who told me, he said, people in the US, Ang Mo, can't even pronounce your name. How would you expect them to call you by Peng Joon? And the issue is, he really came from caring and wanting the best for me. And that's the issue, another issue as well, right? But I realized that these type of beliefs are really just limiting beliefs. And after going through this journey, if we were to think about like voices that is distinct to us, right? Take a look at Arnold's voice. Why do people love his voice? Now that Arnold's big and he has made it, and people's like, oh, look at Arnold, his voice is, it's like, it's so sexy. But when he started out, that's not what people said.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing for Dan, same thing for myself. But when a person has made it, that's like, oh, it makes sense now, because that's what makes this person distinct. Yeah. So I think that a person can look at it both ways.
Yeah.
Sometimes it might take a crisis for people to do things differently. And as twisted as it sounds, this time frame of however long it might be, nobody knows, right? It could be 3 weeks, 2 months, 1 year. But whatever that time frame is, we can either utilize it to binge watch all of our favorite Netflix episodes, or we could use this as a time to reflect and look at ourselves and our business and ask the questions that we normally never ask. So is it too late? Not at all. If anything at all, you can take a look at it as it took an entire world health crisis for that person to finally wake up. And I say that not to sound, condescending or mean, but sometimes that's what it is. And even for me personally, I know that in the last 1 week, where everyone from my team is now working from home, and now I'm working from home, and now we're doing these daily huddles every day, it has enabled me also at the same time to ask questions and look at things that I normally would never have spent time thinking time. So is it too late? Not at all. If anything at all, now it has given you a real incentive to really pivot and start doing things differently. Because let's face it, a lot of times people already know that they need to be online. But because, like you said, things are going well, and how most people operate within their comfort zone. And because it's comfortable, it's enough to pay the bills and some thrills in life, they don't see the need or necessity to learn a new skill or to do things differently. So right now, start doing things differently. Start building up the sales process. Start building up that audience. Start creating content online, and create content that meets people based on where they're at in life. In fact, just right before this call, I was on a call with a few F&B business owners. And the main theme was really helping these F&B business owners take their stuff online. F&B business owners are on top of hotels and all, are one of the ones that's hit the hardest as well, right? So what can they do differently? It's just about meeting what the audience is at right now. So if you're an F&B business, for example, then it's about thinking, how can you create an experience for them? So an example was like, she was selling xiao long bao, right? So it's like, because people can't come to the restaurant, what if it was you creating the kit and saying, these are what our chefs do in preparation of these xiao long baos every single day. But right now, you can experience not just the same xiao long baos, but the experience of preparing it with your loved ones at home right now. So we will actually give you the broth, the meat, you know, all of it in a kit. So now you can actually prepare it yourself, so that it's not just ordering something from, you know, Grab Food or Uber Eats, but now it's an experience that you can do it with your family. Same thing for another person who was a gym owner. Right now people aren't thinking about going gyms. They're not about thinking about gym equipment, but you could still be selling gym equipment, but the thing that you lead with is workout from home. Workout from home, but then to work out from home effectively, you might need these elastic bands, you might need these dumbbells, you might need these yoga mats. So you're still selling similar items, but you might lead with a different way and change your languaging in order to get people to get the thing that you're selling. If you're a tuition center, instead of physical, it's now virtual. So there's different ways to just pivot with the times.
What do you miss most right now? Like if the whole lockdown will go away, when life goes back to normal, what's going to be the first thing that you're going to do?
It would be to hug my parents.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. How long have you not seen them?
I've been doing a FaceTime with them every day, but like you mentioned, you know, because it's a time of reflection, I realized that, you know, it's human instinct that when something is taken away from you, you tend to appreciate more, right? But I realized that now that the option of visiting them is out, I realized that, wow, you know, that's it's only when we lose something do we appreciate it even more. Yeah.
Thank you so much for the answer. Like I didn't expect that, and thanks for being open about it. Yeah.
I think I will end with this. Okay, I think that this whole virus thing, there's a lot of different things that it can actually teach us in a very weird, twisted way, which is up to us, which is optional on whether we see it or not. And first one is that as humans, we are all equal. This virus doesn't care about your passport that you hold. It doesn't care about your skin color, your religion, your beliefs. It doesn't care. It doesn't discriminate.
Yeah.
It also shows that it's a reminder that life is short and that we're all just mortals. And this is just one of the many ways that we could die from, you know, if it's not a sickness, if it's not an accident, and that we are all mortals, and it's just another way that we could all die from. But death itself can be a huge motivator to wake up and do something that's actually meaningful. But whether we see it or not, it's something else. I think that also it could teach us, you talked about being materialistic just now. And the truth is, for a very long time, I have been, my whole life, I have actually been guilty of that. My story is, as a kid, somehow, because I couldn't afford a lot of these branded things, I wanted it even more. So as a kid growing up, to me, it's like, wow, a Rolex watch. To me, like that's like a dream, you know. To me, like, wow, a Louis Vuitton pair of shoes, you know. So I grew up, because I couldn't afford it as a young adult, I wanted even more. But I think that in this crisis, we realize that now it is the bare essentials. It is eggs, rice, bread.
Yeah.
That's constantly out of stock. Like I try to go to Tesco every week, and deliveries like 8 days right now, you know, on Tesco. So it goes to show that all of the different things that we thought was important, that I thought was important when we're being materialistic about stuff, is that in really times when things are serious, you realize you're not even thinking about those things. You're thinking about back to the basic stuff. Food,
Yeah.
toilet paper, right? Yeah, and it's this whole thing. It could be the end, or it could be the beginning. It could be the beginning of something great, to do things differently, to reflect on what's really important to us, our friends, our family, the people that we have in our life, and appreciate them even more. Because sometimes it might just take a whole crisis to just realize and make humans wake up from the things that was in front of them all along, but just never saw it.